And I'm Miggs.
Where's Elena at though?
She texted
Don't put her business out there.
for 45 minutes ago.
Don't put her business out there. She's not here. She couldn't be here, but maybe she'll make it the next episode. We don't know yet. But right now it's a boys episode. It's me and Miggs.
Oh.
It's a boys. It was an unintentional boys episode. It's me, Miggs, and our guest
Ramon.
We got Ramon Balderas with us. Ramon, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Man, we talked about this before. I had brought it up to you 2 times, and we just needed to figure out a time, so I'm glad you're here. You don't work that far away from this studio we're recording at the Fava Public Library.
Well, he does now.
Is it far? Well, I guess by now, yeah.
Yeah.
We won't go too much into that. But if you know, you know, right?
Mix is out here telling all people's businesses.
He be telling all the business.
It'll be everyone's business by the time this airs. Oh, no.
There was one episode where Miggs was like, oh, yeah, we're recording. 2 of us are recording on one mic, so if the audio sounds crappy. I'm like, don't release the secrets here, Miggs.
No, I mean, that's not like a secret. Releasing secrets is when you tell people we're recording 2 episodes in one day. I was just letting everybody know why the audio sounded off.
You good? you good, Mix? he's just mad over here because he just pulled out a candy out of his pocket that was smashed. What was that, anyways?
It was oatmeal pie.
It's no longer an oatmeal pie. It's like a
it's
like
oatmeal tortilla. It's like oatmeal tortilla.
Yeah, it was good when I got in the car today.
Damn. Oh, that was from today.
Yeah.
So what are you up to this week? What do you have going on
This week?
There's a video game dropping this midnight, right?
Oh,
or 11
yeah,
that you're gonna be. They're
yeah.
excited about playing.
But today, after we get off here, I'm going to Murano's. You been there before?
I haven't. I heard good things, so.
Yeah, it's in Fayetteville over there by where Mexico Viejo is.
Yeah.
And I started going there recently thanks to Melissa Moreno. I saw her post a picture, and I'm like, is it good? She's like, yeah, it's good. So me and my homie went, and the burgers there are actually delicious, and we love playing pool, and they have good pool tables. So we're going to go there. We're going to get some burgers, a beer or 2, and then we're going to go home and play a Call of Duty that comes out today. Or, I mean, that came out like 3 weeks ago.
When you hear this episode.
Yeah, and we're going to go online and kill people like that all night long
on video game.
Yeah.
I'm a big gamer.
Are you?
And yeah, we're just switching from Call of Duty to Battlefield 6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're gonna give that a try.
Our friend tried to get us to go Battlefield 6. So I was like, I already pre-ordered 7.
It's kind of the same concept, right? Those kind of video games.
Yeah, but like the graphics really and the lag and all those things, and you don't think they matter until like you're like in competition with like kids that are killing you and are ridiculously better than you are, and you're a grown man yelling at them. Like you can't kill me, and they've grew up in this, they've developed in this.
It's funny because like I'm usually pretty chill. Like I don't show strong emotions or anything, but I crash out when I be losing on FIFA sometimes. Like I crash out because I'm like, I know this person's not better than me. And there's something going on with this game. It's scripted or whatever. And I'm like, I've hit my control with some stuff before in the past, and I'm not too fond of that. I'm not too proud of that.
It's competitive nature.
Yeah. I actually played a game or 2 to get warmed up before I got to the studio today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like, let me be warmed up for tonight.
Getting some practice in.
Yeah.
I feel like I only get riled up when I'm playing FIFA and someone's screen name's like something Trump something. That's when I'm like, oh, you're getting 5 goals in.
And they're scoring on your ass.
And then I lose. And then I'll mess
Add insult to injury.
No, I go hard.
Turn off the play.
I lock in. Like, you know how like when you're sitting down playing a video game, but you know it gets real, so you kind of like get up from the sofa or couch and you get a little bit closer to the TV and you're like, I'm locking in for this.
Oh, yeah.
I do that whenever.
You have to like, forward position. Like,
but by if it's tied towards the end, you're both like standing like this close to the TV. Just like I'm not gonna, don't let me, you can't see my buttons.
Yeah, especially when you're playing FIFA and it's like penalty kicks. You can't see where someone is going to be shooting. You should.
I move my lazy boy right in front of the TV, and so if I'm in it, I'm just like leaning forward.
Damn, brother.
That's how it, kind of like I'm twerking. Picture me twerking but sitting.
I don't want to picture that.
Thanks for that image.
You guys haven't seen me twerk before?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
We're glad this is audio only episode.
You are so happy that. Awesome.
What other games do you play?
Man, Call of Duty, Spider-Man. I really like the Spider-Man franchises. Yeah, and then the Batman, the Arkham Knights. Like those are the only like, what do I call it? Like real like player one kind of games that I really get into.
I'm trying to find like a second game that keeps my attention because I got Doom. I was good at Doom for a while, and the thing is, I played like in super hard, so that kept me entertained until I got to the point where I couldn't, and then I kind of just left it alone.
but this, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Gran Turismo was there for a bit, but they don't keep up. Like I always go back to Call of Duty, but the games come and go.
Yeah.
I used to play like a Yu-Gi-Oh game that would keep my attention, but I finished all of it.
You know what I have? I got an app that like mimics a Game Boy, and so like last week, dude, I was working at a certain campus, and like on my downtime, I was just Pokemoning like all day. I got Pokemon Yellow, so I can walk around with Pikachu. But yeah, dude, I just the old fashioned like the red, white. I mean the red, the blue, and the yellow.
I could never afford those.
But like how you were saying, like the impossible, like games, like this kids will never know about like Mario. You know, games like level 10 or something that you're like, you have to do everything like perfect and create so much anxiety for you to be able to like pass it.
Especially those water ones.
I mean, that was like Guitar Hero at one point, right? Like to trying to hit those notes in that exact same pattern.
You end up with like arthritis in your hand by the end of it.
I remember somebody was saying it was like a radio station, like if you played real guitar as much as you played Guitar Hero, you'd be Tom fucking Morello by now.
That's wild, but I think, video games are good for people. I think they're a good de-stressor. I know there's days where I'm super stressed and like I'll, have dinner with my wife or like go for a walk and stuff, but it's like at 10 p.m. it's like I got 1 hour. Let's play some FIFA, and then I'll be crashing out. So it's probably not the best thing, but it does kind of help you disconnect.
Man, here's the other thing that it did, and one of the things we always talk about with my friends is like it really gave us something to do during COVID, right? Like we were playing with friends that were like in Florida, in Seattle, but be able to like even create a bond at that point in time where we were playing together, to the point where we're like, hey, after all this is done, let's take a boys trip, and we ended up going to Colorado. And so just being able to keep in touch with other people. But I was like, yeah, if I didn't have that, it'd probably been a darker time for me, because there's a lot of sitting alone and thinking with your thoughts.
And it saves you money because you're at home, right? Yeah. Like even like post peak COVID, it saves you money from going out because you'll be like, I'm just gonna stay in and just play some video games, and you don't.
You know what? Yeah,
big bar tab and stuff.
I think that's kind of what's been happening. Like I don't go out much anymore. Like I go out, I don't know, once every 2 weeks now instead of like how it used to be. Remember, Ramon?
Oh, I was there. I seen it.
I seen it. But I was like, what have I been doing? I was like, you know what? I've been playing a lot of video games. Yeah, I've been kicking ass online.
It's a good investment. Yeah.
No, it is. That's why I got the Call of Duty 7, Black Ops 7 or whatever, because I was like, dude, it's well worth all the time that I spent on it to like get it again.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I should do promotions for Call of Duty. Send you guys some stuff.
Irvin likes FIFA,
yeah.
FIFA. What's up, EA Sports, Rockstar?
Yeah, exactly.
They don't call it. Unfortunately, they don't call it FIFA no more. Now it's EAFC.
Hey, I'll rate games on here on this podcast. Right? I don't care what Irvin says.
Okay, I don't upload them. Oh my god. So I'm glad you're here, Ramon. I've had the opportunity already to like sit down and speak with you. We hung out one day at the Otso a while back. But you have a lot to say, and you have a lot of like views that I feel are very empowering for the youth, specifically like the Latino youth, And I feel like you've become a person in our community who people trust and who people look as a resource for them to be able to navigate, college and just community overall. Have you lived most of your life here in this area?
No, man. First of all, thank you for having me, man. I'm excited to do this with y'all. No, I actually grew up in Southwest Arkansas. My parents brought me to DeQueen, Arkansas, a small town in Southwest Arkansas.
DeQueen,
Arkansas.
No, isn't Kimberly from
Yeah.
the Queen? Did you guys know each other back
Yeah.
then? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I just found this out. Hello. You learned
Meet your
something
friends,
new.
yeah.
Then you have another person that works at the U of A.
Yeah, Genaro
who's
Camarillo,
also from
and
the Queen.
we went to college together, and been really good friends through most of it. And yeah, we grew up there. Parents brought us. We're probably one of, I would say, 15, 20 Hispanic families, and now you have like pretty close to an 80% Hispanic population. One of the most interesting things, it's kind of centralized for a lot of the poultry, brought a lot of those families in the area, similar to Northwest Arkansas. And so within like a 30, 45-mile radius, you have like maybe another 4 or 5 poultry plants. And so it becomes kind of a little commuter hub for a lot of the families to travel from one place to another. And so that's what's kind of kept it growing. And so I really got to see it change from, this very white and black folks town to a Latino community, and so
Your parents still there?
yeah, they have their own, rancho, their own little farm.
Oh.
They have chicken houses and cattle and poultry. I mean, yeah. And so it's cool. It's cool to go back, but then I came to college in Missouri, and I did 2 years in Crowder College, and then I came back to this area, and I just ended up staying, and so it's been home ever since. I actually bought my home like 10 years ago, so it's been fun. Yeah.
For the people that don't know, how do you spell the Queen correctly? Because I
Queen.
used to misspell it, and I would get roasted by the Queen folks.
Yeah, so it's literally Queen with DE in front of it.
Okay, it sounds like the Queen, but
Yeah,
it's the Queen.
yeah.
The Queen.
But it's real cool looking because it's a capital D, lowercase e, then a capital Q, right?
Yeah.
So it looks like a rapper's name, or like somebody you'll see on like C4 on
Yeah.
Sunday night.
Yeah, it's
Hi,
spelled
I'm D
different.
Queen.
and still to this day, I don't know if it really has a space or not between it. Like I don't.
I don't think
yeah.
there's a space. I think it's like a Mac. you
Yeah,
know?
I think that's what it is. So
I've been there 3 times.
yeah.
The first time was whenever we were trying to get some people that were over there that wanted to organize in immigrant rights engaged, and to kind of like, I was too young, so I wasn't doing the educating, but the people I was with, Juan Manuel, who you know, and Fernando Garcia, we went down there and we spoke to some folks, and eventually led for a new organization to be formed down there. But I remember, I'm not sure if this is a DeQueen thing or not, or maybe it was just the area that I was at. But someone told me, whoever's house we were at, they were like, oh, go to the backyard and like lay down on the floor, and the stars are really visible. I'm not sure if it's a DeQueen thing, but I remember I went out there, and it's the clearest I've ever seen stars in my life. Like the stars were huge, and I had never seen stars that big. Is that a DeQueen thing, or
no? I think that's the advantage of just being in a small town, right? Like you don't have the light pollution, so to speak,
That's
right?
true.
Because even like the other day, I was trying to like, they said that we could see the northern skies, and I was like dead in the middle of spring now, and I was like, obviously I can't see it because there's a lot of light reflecting. But I bet if you went out into like open space, it would be like clear as day. And so like that's one of the things that you just appreciate coming from a small town, right?
Yeah.
I remember, L.A., but then at one point I went to Big Bear, and like the first time actually seeing like an open sky with all the stars, I remember being a little kid like, whoa.
It's amazing. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So I've known you because you've kind of become synonymous to like the University of Arkansas.
Thank you.
You've been there for quite a few years and stuff. Can you talk a little bit about the work that you've done there?
Yeah, man. I'm going on 12 years. I started with a university prep program called Upward Bound, a trio program that helps first-gen and low-income students to get into college and being able to teach them how to college, right? A lot of what we call first-gen students, so students that maybe don't have, parents or guardians that finish college, they don't know how to, right? They don't have somebody to help them navigate the system. And so we worked with that population, and then I switched to kind of that version, but of the college level, the student support services on campus. And I did that for a couple of years. And then I was lucky enough to work for the Ideals Institute, which was kind of like the diversity, equity, and inclusion division for the U of A. And that was just a great experience to like really learn how to facilitate and how to really bring people together. And I really love that. We worked with a lot of nonprofits around that time. And now I'm working in student success. So I'm assistant director for financial empowerment. And that kind of program came out of the idea of colleges getting very expensive. There's a lot of students in the similar boat with first-gen students that you just don't know what you don't know, right? And so we try to orient them with financial education and tell them, this is how loans work, this is scholarships work. Here's what happens if you switch your major. Here's what happens if you, fail a class. And so really helping them kind of have answers to those things, and then kind of not only problem solve, but also run scenarios with them so they can have all the information, so they can apply for different scholarships, or they can do appeal processes. And so it's been really rewarding being able to help students. But I mean, one of the things that we're seeing really just in general across the board, I think, is the cost of higher education continuing to skyrocket. And, and it, in my opinion, the return on investment, you're starting to lose that in, university or higher education. And so that kind of prompts the question of, is college worth it, and you have a lot of people asking that question.
I think it's been a talk here recently about, a lot of what did we call them? Gen Zers? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they believe that no, you're not going to get more money in life if you go to college. Like, that's like a debunked myth, according to them. Yeah, but, yeah.
Yeah, here's the thing. I will say that I think that there's still a return on investment in different ways. Right?
I'm still trying to make millions on Instagram, so I get it.
Right. And here's the thing. I think this generation is really looking at it from a point of the opportunities that they have now, right? To be a YouTuber, to be a streamer, right? It's a very celebrity-like kind of path of, only a certain amount of individuals are going to make it, and they're going to make a lot of money. The opportunity is there. Don't get me wrong, right?
That's like with anything, right? Like being an actor or
correct. Yeah. Correct. A football player. Yeah. There's a small percentage that's going to be able to do that. Yeah. The rest of us have to figure it out, right? Mm-hmm. And so, to me, I would say still the safest thing to be able to do is get some kind of education, right? It can be a 2-year degree. It can be a trade. It can be tech. What I see the value in talking about a return on investment, right? It's being able to say it puts you through this process of growth, and it pushes you to another level of understanding, right? If you do it right? Mm-hmm. And I am a product of that, right? I am a product of that. I was fortunate enough to continue to go, and my journey was not easy, right? I was, first generation, everything, right? First generation.
Did you have someone like you that was able to help you?
Mm-mm. And I think that's where I find a lot of passion for what I do, right? I would love to have somebody in my corner, and that's one of the things I love for my nieces and nephews is being able to be that person.
I think the reason that I was gonna say Ramon and I are friends is because of similar beliefs, completely different paths, right? Mm-hmm. But similar beliefs. We were both trying to prove kind of our parents wrong,
Yeah. And we've had that discussion, right? When I was my senior year, my dad told me not to go to college, right? And that stayed with me, right? When I came to college. And that's the thing, right? At the time, I was like, oh shit, my dad doesn't believe in me to go to college, right? As I grew, I realized what he was doing. He was trying to advise me the best he could within what he understood, right? Mm-hmm. And you look at Mexico, we're from Guanajuato, Mexico, and you look at the education system in Mexico, and it's not made for people that come from a poor, low income background to climb up the status or ladders. There's really no return investment where we come from, right?
Yeah.
And unless you're in the elite, unless you're a certain level, right? The fact that you have to pay after middle school, right? Mm-hmm. And the fact that if you do make it out of a rancho or a low income situation, you end up being a school teacher or a teacher of some sort, which makes the equivalent of a bricklayer or a day laborer. Yeah. So when you come from that mindset or that background, you're saying, why are you wasting time? Mm-hmm. Get to work. Mm-hmm. Rightfully so, right? The difference is that I believe that the education system here still provides that upward mobility, right? And I'm an example of that, and I've seen it happen time and time again if you do it right, if you do it strategically. And I think most people assume that I came and did it, and I did it in one go, and it wasn't that. I've dropped out of college probably 2 times. But I had this passion for learning. I had this curiosity. If you ask me what my superpower is, I would say it's my curiosity. I want to know more. I want to push. So when my dad said, "Mijo, don't go," I said, "Cool. I'm still going to go because I need to know what's out of here."
Wow, an elephant graveyard.
Yeah, exactly.
Lion King reference, sorry.
No, I love it.
It's been a minute since I've seen it.
I love it.
So how did he, like while you were doing it, while you were like, going to school and stuff, how was he taking it at that time? Like, was he just kind of like, oh, like, I'll support you kind of thing, or?
And they've always been supportive, right? Especially my mother. And I think my mother has always been like, whatever makes you happy. I just want you to be happy. Two of the biggest pieces of advice she ever gave me is follow what makes you happy, and I want you to be your own boss, right? And so she's always had that support. She's always, the same thing is, I think she knew school was the right thing. She also wants to protect us, right? And enough time passed to realize, oh, that's what my father was doing. He was trying to protect me. He knew that the only way he could protect me was to keep me close. And as a lot of our Hispanic families do, right? And so a lot of the conversations with students, right? When there's just very high achieving students and they're like, oh, I'm going to go to elite school out of Arkansas. And I'm like, that's awesome. But my parents won't let me. And so that's one of the main things that I want to do with, the Latino community in the area, and hopefully outside of the area, is being able to kind of change that idea, right? For those that have the idea of there is no return investment, is it really worth it?
There's just so many opportunities here to thrive in a college setting, right? There's scholarships, there's people like you that can connect people, not only to scholarships, but like to other opportunities, educational opportunities. And yeah, that's not even in like the peripheral vision of our parents. Like they don't even grasp that, right? Yeah. A lot of folks, I'm not putting a blanket over everyone.
Correct.
And I think unintentionally our parents probably put like a ceiling on a lot of us that we knew we could get past, right? Because we know that there's resources out there.
Yeah. I was gonna say Ramon actually was one of the people that kind of made me understand, like, my parents, because awesome. I was like, why don't they get it? Like, I'm trying to be fucking amazing. Yeah. Well, not like that, because I was a lot more. But you made me understand with that story, and I don't know if I can tell it or if I should tell it, because those are your words. But the rainforest thing, or
oh yeah,
that reference.
So it
did wonders for me.
So we were talking about like how do I see college, right? And we were talking about like my dad telling me don't go because I don't know what's out there, and I was like, to me, with all the respect, like, it makes me think of like Native American traditions that they would send out their young into the forest to go on the spiritual journey and to find themselves, right, as a way of rite of passage, right? And I was like, I feel like that for me has been college, right? To leave my home and to kind of come fend for myself. And so obviously my dad was worried, here's a forest. We don't know the bears, the dangers that are in that forest because it's unknown territory. How am I going to send my kid in there and rightfully as a father say, yeah, go in there, you'll figure it out, right? And so that comes from a place of love, right? And so when I understood that, I was like, oh shit, like, how grateful am I and how blessed am I to have a father that cares about me, in that way. But the reality for me is that I needed to take that journey.
I need to learn how to slay a bear.
Exactly. Exactly. And beautiful metaphor. It's I'm killing bears out here. I'm surviving. And the beauty, the outcome of that was, after I came in and went to college and I was successful, it opened the doors for my siblings. One of my baby sister, for example, she is a high school counselor down in D Queen, right? helping our population, right? And she has a beautiful heart for it. And so like I was able to pave that way, and that's one of the best rewards that I can have. And so when you go on this journey, for me, it's, I hope that I continue to do that for others, right? I hope that I continue. I mean, Miggs telling his story, you know, we've talked about it often, but every time I hear it, like, I feel proud of that, right? Because I want what's best for him. And that's usually how I try to approach a lot of my students. It's, you walk in my door, I'm going to try to see the best version of you, and I'm going to try to push you towards it.
I got years of free counseling by this guy. Like, also, like, you know, like, he's also one of the only friends that I have that's like, congratulations, Miggs. You're doing fucking well, dude. You are killing it. You know, like, and you need that, you know? Like,
of course, man. Of course. No, and I think that's, if we're talking about community, if we're talking about who we are as a community in Northwest Arkansas, man, if we could all have that attitude, right? And I'm not saying that I'm special, because I'm just learning that you get so much more done, and there's so much positivity that comes in your life when you do give, you know, to others, when you pour into others, versus trying to hold resources,
you
right?
know, I think it's always crazy too when you meet somebody like that, like right off the cuff, you know, like all of a sudden you meet somebody and they're like helping you out or looking out for you immediately. You're weirded out by this person, like, yo, what's wrong with you?
but it's one of those things, right? It's everything that we do or know is from things learned, right? And so I'll give you an example. Before I worked at the university, I worked for Arkansas Migrant Education, right? It's a program that worked to give resources to people or from kids that their parents worked migrating, doing any kind of agricultural work, right? It's actually the scholarship that got me my first year at Crowder College, right? It was the same program. So I love that I was able to be a part of that and then be able to come and work for it. But all the resources were free. You know how hard it was to be able to get a lot of these families those free resources? Very hard, because they were constantly, what's the catch?
Oh, yeah.
Nobody gives anything for free.
Yeah.
Right? And I think it's one of those things again.
Bullshit, I'm leaving.
Exactly. Exactly, right? And so I think we come from that idea of distress. And so that's one of the things too, I think, where a lot of people, when they're dealing with our community, they see it, and the U.S. is still very transactional. It's very like business, and it's like, no, man, like you have to build rapport with us, like
they call that capitalism.
Yeah, exactly. And we've seen what capitalism does, and we see, you know, we have every right to be suspicious. Yeah, you know, because we have seen what has happened to our culture or people in different parts of our country, right? And so I struggle with it, because I'm like, yes, accept the help, but I also understand why you're hesitant. And I hear you, and so I'm going to put in the work to build the rapport, right? And I'm going to show up, and I try to help you and be as kind, as nice as possible, you know? And so that's what I try to do.
Going back to that, just talking about just helping people in general, you'd be surprised at what it means to someone when you're there while they're doing their FAFSA. Yeah. Because no one taught me. I was a first generation college student. Like, my sister didn't go to college, so like she couldn't help me. Yeah. And it was so stressful. Yeah. Like, I remember filling out the thing, and then I'm needing to like some tax forms, and then it had this weird thing where like you had to send a signature by mail, like your parents' signature by mail. Yeah. And I was so stressed out about that. I was like I'm not gonna have it on time, and like and I think I did it like last minute, just because I had anxiety over it. Yeah. And I was able to help, you know, my niece, my sister-in-law, you know, get on FAFSA, and I was like, easy, just sit down, like just get your tax forms, like I got you. And now it's even simpler, right? The process is a little bit simpler than it was 10, 15 years ago. But being able to help someone with that, I don't think even they know like that big help, because trying to navigate that by yourself 10 years ago, that shit was hard and stressful.
And hold on to that idea, right? Hold on to that idea, because, you know, when we talk about access, when we talk about opportunity, right? A student and can be as high achieving as you want them to, right? But that alone has already created a challenge for some students. And so we can have a very academic ready student that can go through this university or whatever university, score a 4.0, but it's the systems, right? Like that they have to navigate and they have to understand. And there will be students that in that instance say, I don't want to do this anymore. And that's a big part of what I want to remove. And that's a big part of, I think, as a community, we can
or like in my
help
case,
each other.
it's being like, fuck it, we're paying for a price. You know?
Exactly. And there's those, again, you simply don't know what you don't know.
Because of what? Again?
Yes.
You know, all right, fuck it, we're paying. Like,
Exactly. Exactly. Sometimes it's let's get it over with.
Yeah.
Right? And one of the things that I tell a lot of my students is like, especially our first generation students, I think with our first generation students, we see a lot of students that are like, I don't want to seem like I don't know what I'm doing. Right? I don't want the embarrassment of that. I don't want
It's that pride.
people, exactly. I don't want people to see me different.
Yeah.
Let me blend in.
Yeah.
And so they're making their life harder because they're literally people like me, right? Other people like me that are really ready to help, you know, and be able to give this information that we didn't have, right? But we can't help you if you don't come ask. We can't help you if you don't raise your hand and say, hey, I'm lost, right? For a lot of students, I explain that being first generation, it's like trying to navigate, you know, the waters or finding a place without a map or a GPS.
Yeah.
It's just that much harder.
Yeah.
Right? So why not go to a guide and say, yo, I don't know how to get here. Let me just ask questions. And so that's a big push for me with a lot of students right now, and a big message that I always give to those first gen students is ask questions.
Yeah. How do you feel about like you being able to know that you help someone out and you've been in the university for years now, and then you've seen people like graduate and then go out to the real world and become professionals and see them succeed? Like, how does that make you feel to know? Like, of course, I know it's not all about how you help them, but you have to know I was there for this individual, and there has to be happiness there, right?
Here's the thing about education, man. It's you don't always get to see it, right? And so to all my educators out there, right, is to know you just have to have faith that you did what you needed to do, even the student that at that point in time wasn't ready to listen, right? And then you did it. And then there is situations where you get to see, you know, just the other week I saw one of my students and they're like, hey, like, you know, I'm working Walmart, I have a full family, you know, I couldn't have done it without you. It's a beautiful feeling, right? And it makes you feel purpose, and then it reminds you of why you do what you do, right? But it's one of those things where it's also very easy to provide information, right? Like, I don't understand why we don't do it more, right? As a community, right? And being able to provide that information to each other and saying, hey, how do I help you? How do I do this as well? And I'm not trying to critique, right? I'm just saying that there's opportunity for more, because the more that we do that, the better the community will be, right?
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I found myself that I try not to be, but I feel like I am a certain like a gatekeeper in a certain kind of way, you know?
Yeah.
And the only reason I realized that I'm doing that is because of this dude, Irvin, because he is not. He is always trying to help somebody out. He even volunteers me sometimes, you know?
Thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Coming with the political.
No, but he but so then I realized, oh, like I don't really help people like that, but it's just kind of like the way that, I mean, especially my business, the entertainment business, you know, like that's how it is. You kind of gotta get there, and you have to beat so many people for so many years to get to the position you're at. That when you're there, you're kind of, I'm not even all the way there, you know, but you're still kind of, okay, hold on, guys, I just got here, hold on.
Yeah.
And so I realized that from me that I try to keep that information, but just because how life is, like everyone else is like that, so it kind of makes you do the exact same thing.
And it's because I dealt with a lot of gatekeepers when I was young.
Yeah.
Like, especially in organizing.
Yep.
Like, I had so many people that didn't want me to do TV interviews because
Correct.
they said I wasn't ready.
Correct.
They didn't want me to speak to certain people that had power. They didn't want me, like, they wouldn't allow me to grow as a leader. Correct. So now, you know, that I co-founded this organization, Aire, and we have over 100 volunteers, and a lot of them are university students that are like 21, 20 years old. Like, I want to do for them what people stop me from being able to do. Correct. You know, so I take it personal. Yeah. You know, so whenever I see like gatekeeping anywhere, I'm like, we can't be doing that.
In my defense, I've helped a lot of people out. Like, especially
I wasn't blaming you.
Yeah, but I just made myself look a little bad.
It was Miggs all along.
Let me do TV interviews.
No, but when I was working for the TV station, like I helped a lot of people out. In fact, one of my bosses at the time kind of got upset at me because I kept getting people promoted because I showed them how to produce or be a photojournalist or do something else within the news station. And anyway.
And I think like everything, there's a balance to it, right?
Yeah.
Like it's one of the quickest ways to get burnt out and disappointed is to be able to give everything to everyone, right? And I think that was one of the importance. I was talking to my siblings, you know, we come from a rancho, right? You know, no running water, no electricity until we got to move up here, right? And one day we had to drive down to see my uncle who was sick at the time, and I was with my older brother Juan. And it had been a while since we had talked, right? We always see each other at gatherings, but it's very much like the how's everything, how's family, how's good, right? And I asked him, I said, man, who are you? He's like, what? Who are you at this point in time, man? I feel like we don't really know each other. And we got to have like one of the best like conversations, right? But in the conversation, one of the questions that I asked him was, man, what is something that you wish that our parents would have taught us? That would have helped a lot of heartbreak or a lot of trouble growing up. And he's like, let me think about it. And I said, I have one. I was like, our parents never taught us boundaries. Right? Mm-hmm. And so there was a lot of times where I got taken advantage because of my kindness or because I was always giving so much, right? Yeah. And I was like, I really wish that they would have taught me like those boundaries. And as I'm having this conversation, you know, I have this epiphany. I'm like, oh, we come from a rancho. What does that mean? That means that in our rancho, everybody's family. Everybody's related. Mi abuelita, mi tía, my cousins. When you went to my abuelita's house, she would put everything she has on the table and say, it's yours. Mm-hmm. Eat. Drink. So there was this ecosystem that created reciprocity, right? Mm-hmm. So that was the nature of it. What happens when you take that individual out of that ecosystem? You're still operating exactly in Fayetteville or in DeQueen, and you're still like, oh, here, have all. Yeah. And somebody that's not used to that reciprocal ecosystem, it's like, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, if I need, I would just go to Ramon. He'll give me this. And you're like, why am I not getting anything in return?
Yeah.
Right? It's because we don't exist. You can create, and that's one of the things that I think I've in this point in my time, I've done that. I've created that ecosystem for myself by choosing who I invest in, right? Who I pour into. But it's not something that's built naturally, right?
You mentioned that boundaries thing, and I think I discovered it when I moved to Arkansas. Because, again, in LA, sorry, I hate that. but when I used to be with all my homies, we kind of grew up together. To tell you the truth, I mean, we didn't have much. So it was kind of like we were looking out for each other, and that's what we got. And then I moved here, and I realized, like, pretty quickly, well, not pretty quickly, it actually took me a little bit, but I would buy drinks, you know? I would give rides, I would do things, and then, like, you know, months pass by, and you're like, I don't think anybody's bought me a goddamn drink.
Yeah, like where's the reciprocity, right?
Yeah.
Why doesn't it come back to me,
Yeah.
right? And so again, those are the things that where when you put them into like what is happening here, you realize, oh, that system doesn't work. And so coming back to those boundaries of why it is important, right? And so for me, the way that I kind of measure that, even with my students, right, it's if a student comes and asks me, I need this, I'm happy to offer. But one of the ways that I measure is I will give you information. That's the first step of what I will do for you. Hey, I'm needing figure this out. Cool. Go here, do this. Here's information. Mm-hmm. The ones that really appreciate it, boom, within a day, within an hour. I've done this. What else? Cool. Mm-hmm. You're a self-starter. You want this. You need this. You see the opportunity in this. Then there's the ones that come in and say, hey, I need this. Cool. Here's the same information. The same thing that I gave the other one. Can't you just do it for me? Right? And people are the very same way.
And that's why, that's why I truly believe in like the iron rule of don't do anything for others that they can do themselves. Right?
I like that.
Like you should help people at all times, but you shouldn't be enabling someone so that they can't do it in the future when you're not there.
Correct.
The goal is to teach them to the point where they can just do it themselves. If you leave or you move, you pass away, all these different things, but you actually hurt them.
Yeah. And
by, doing everything for them.
And even going back to the conversation of earlier of gatekeeping, right? That's one of the biggest issues with gatekeeping, right? We see it in nonprofits. We see it in organizations. It's if you're the one that knows all the things, right? And then one day you're gone, you take the organizational secrets, the nonprofit secrets with you. You're not making it self-sustaining. And that's why you need to pour into others. That's why you need to teach others so that when you're gone, and that's one of the things that I try to do with all my mentees, right? I have several mentees that are like, hey, let's learn. Cool. I'm going to teach you everything I know so that when I leave this institution or whatever place or organization I'm at, they will have the ability to do it and hopefully do it better than I can.
Yeah. Oh, I was always very confident when I teach things. I was telling like my boss at that point at that news station. I was teaching some camera moves to somebody, and she's like, "You're giving away your job." I was like, "If they can do it better than I can, they deserve my job. Yes. They can't do it better than I can." But that was my mentality. Like, dude, like you're still rough. I still see fucking jiggles, bro.
Yeah, give some secrets away, but not all your secrets. Like you have to keep that secret sauce.
You really have to like want it and know it to get rid of that extra, that jiggle. You really have to focus in and be like, where am I fucking up?
Yeah.
And,
correct.
Yeah. Who would you say pours into your cup? If you had to think about it.
Man, right now it's definitely family. Right? I think if you haven't done this, one of the things that I would really encourage you is to meet your parents as they are right now, separate from what you know them as mom and dad, right? If you have the ability to.
Yeah.
Because it's something completely different, right? Like one of my favorite things is to be able to take road trips with my mom, right? And just ask her about her life.
Yeah. I had the opportunity to do that with my mom, but like in podcast form.
That's awesome.
Where I interviewed her.
That's awesome.
And like we were crying by the end of the episode.
Does it not change your perspective and your kind of image of who you thought they were, and it's something completely different?
Because you're like, my parents were just trying to survive, right? And we prejudge them. We're like, why do you like this dad? Why do you like this mom? But it's like, yo, they didn't have a guidebook to know how to be parents, right? And their parents. And didn't have a guidebook either,
and they were probably kids when they had us, and it was them trying to figure it out.
Us in particular, we were they didn't even know the system. It wasn't even the same system they grew up in. They didn't even speak the same language.
Correct. I mean, those are the things.
Superheroes over there.
Exactly right. Those are the things that I see in them that I'm like, shit. In comparison, I don't think I've done what they've done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like.
And you say that in a very like non-comparison way.
Just non-comparison, but like Like,
I mean, if you measure the mountains that we've climbed, they're probably,
yeah. They're like, oh, that's cute. That's I have the Mount Everest. No, I mean, and thinking about like, my mom, no English. She was running like a barbecue restaurant on her own. Like her boss would literally leave her, and she had no English, and she was doing cashier and making, barbecue sandwiches and things like that. Probably making less than minimum wage, but that's what she was doing because she had, to do it for her kids and her family. And man, like to be able to kind of, that's another level of love that I think I'm like, that I hope to achieve one day for my kids,
breaking that generational, what do they call it? They use generational trauma, but it doesn't have to be generational trauma. That cycle, the generational cycle, right? Of the way that we approach. We've been so blessed to have all this education, have been able to talk to people that have also educated us on how to take care of our mental health. Correct. And how not to like trauma dump or dump other stuff on people that hurts them, like some parents do for their kids, and we can literally heal the next generation of, Balderas, Camacho.
And they didn't have the luxury of that, right? They simply, and it's actually one of the things that I do worry about, that generation, right? Like, especially now my parents, they just retired. Well, my mom's been retired for a while. My dad just retired. And I really think a lot about that, right? Like they have so much trauma throughout their whole life. And now they have to sit down and be with their thoughts. Right? And that trauma never leaves.
And it comes out in our family sometimes, like when they be drinking,
Yeah.
When they're like, you know what, my dad wasn't a good dad. And like, Dad, you never told me this.
Honestly, you want to hear something crazy? I really feel like that's one of the reasons that like Latinos love like sad music. I think that
there's time to let it out.
Yeah, it is a way to say, okay, I have permission to cry. Right, I can do it as long as Ramon Ayala or Chente in the background.
Because that's when you see like men in their family cry, right?
Right. Right. and we always relate it to, it's because I felt this much love, and it's like, no, I think you're just trying to release this sadness or this trauma that you really have. Just a crazy theory, but I was thinking about that the other day. I was like,
no, you're right.
It
makes sense to me.
Because that's when we turn into big fucking babies. Like we just like.
Like I turn into big baby for everything. Yeah. Like I'm over there watching Blue's Clues. Like, oh my god.
No, but to Irvin's, like thought, it's we're learning to repair ourselves. We're learning to accept those things, and hopefully teach the next generation that it's okay to feel emotions, right? That we have the luxury of seeking mental health. Like that's, I think that's another thing that I would really love to do with the community, right? It's being able to provide information on access to education, but also like having the discussion of mental health, right? Even in our small town of DeQueen, there was one year where we had literally like 3 or 4 suicides, kids that committed suicides, right? And you're like, this is an epidemic. Like there's something happening here, right? And that's the thing. It's, in some of our communities, we don't talk about those things because they're very taboo. They're very like, oh, that mental health doesn't exist. And I'm like, but we're also super superstitious. Like we believe in the
no te bañes y te vas a comer.
exactly te va a dar ojo, like all those things. And I'm like, how can we be this superstitious but then not believe in something that's like science-based and a chemical imbalance? That's something that I dealt with early in my life as well, and so that's what I'm a big advocate for as well.
And like I think it was 2 years ago, I got to speak at the Arkansas I forgot the official name, but it was like the Arkansas organization for like social workers and therapists, and I was a panelist for that event. And I looked out on the crowd, there was a bunch of Latina women that were going to be therapists or social workers, and I was like, this is cool. The fact that there's going to be more therapists that look like us, that can understand the culture whenever we tell them certain things, because like with my therapist, like I'll straight up say like, politics is stressing me out, and I can be very direct and stuff, and get kind of like like a cultural understanding, but just a general, mental health understanding as well.
Yeah.
And the fact that there's going to be more in the near future here in this community, so people can go to someone that looks like them and understands them, makes me so happy.
Oh yeah, man. It's I'm excited about it. And I mean, I think that's one of the biggest things that gives me hope, is that you see more and more of our community in higher education, in positions of influence, right? And when people talk about the political climate, all the things that are happening right now, the level of propaganda, the level of misinformation, but you have so many students that are naturally curious and saying, I don't buy that, and I'm gonna do something about it. That's the part that really has me excited about what's coming in the next generations. I think a lot of people like to criticize this next generation for the things that they do or their trends, but I mean, it's always been that way, right? You're always going to criticize them.
The generation before us.
Exactly, right? But I'm really excited about this next generation because you can tell that they have the heart in the right place, and they're seeing what's happening, and they're saying, I'm going to do something about it, right? And I'm excited for that.
I mean, we'll look at the whole Palestine, Gaza stuff, immigration stuff. Like Gen Z has been very super outspoken and has brought a whole awareness to these kind of issues. So yeah, and then in IDA, in our organization, we have a lot of Gen Z folks that be teaching me the cool lingo, and but they're good-hearted individuals. So
Correct.
like I have faith in the next generation that they're gonna do as much good work as our generation and the generation before us has done. No, the ones that they teach me is like trust. CAP is kind of our generation thing, right? That's not really their
6'7".
6'7". I want you to talk a little bit about you've been doing some like acting work.
Yeah.
And so I wanna touch on that. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah.
Ramon Balderas.
Coming to a theater near you.
That sounds fucking.
Yeah. Right? Man, it's again in talking about the privilege that we have to do the things that we love, right? Like Miggs, you're an inspiration for that, finding passion. And so I think I knew that I wanted to do my PhD or some hot form of reaching this mountaintop of education, right? But in the background, I've always loved acting. I've always loved movies. It's actually probably one of my favorite pastimes. Like even with my dad, like kind of our bonding time, it's us watching Western movies, like and just not saying anything, just watching, movies. And I think that level of love for it was something that I'm like, I want to see if I can do it, right? So it was just kind of one of those personal challenges to me, a personal challenge to me to see if I can get into it. And so I started looking for opportunities to do casting calls in the area. And, the very first one that I did was for the movie Sovereign, which was with Nick Offerman. And I got to meet him, and that was such an opportunity.
Who the hell is Nick Offerman?
Nick Offerman, Parks and Rec.
Oh,
you don't know Nick? You know Nick Offerman?
Well, maybe
the guy with the mustache.
If you see his
face.
Yeah. And so he's in the movie, and it's such a great movie. But that was my very first taste with it. And all I can say is like being in the studio. You're just a background actor, so you're just kind of waiting for them to put you in a place and kind of mime your parts because you don't get any speaking roles at the beginning, right? There's like levels, and so
at the first, as an extra, then you go to like a what's it called, a five or a five liner, pretty much. You have like less than 5 words.
Exactly, right. And so and then you become a supporting, and then you become a lead, right? Yeah. And so I have a ways to go, but just being in that element and seeing how many times you have to like film something from different angles to make one scene work.
Yeah.
I was like a kid at a candy shop, I'm just like in all of it. And I'm like, I really like this. And so I kept coming back to it. I'm continuing to develop right now I've been an extra in 4 films, and I've done 3 commercials. That's kind of like leading still, no speaking
wow,
role.
fucking actor Ramon
Yeah.
Balderas there.
Yeah. No, I love it. And again, it's
That's fucking, and that's been quick too.
yeah. But it was one of those things where, again, I love it so much that I just jumped into it, right? To the point that I ended up joining a talent agency in Kansas City.
Oh,
And so
in
now
Kansas City too.
yeah,
Somebody's serious.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Because Tad Lasso is filming in Kansas City.
Okay.
So if anybody's watching this and has connections to it,
Yeah.
get me on there.
Yeah, the football guy listens to this podcast all the time.
There you go.
We need to send it to him.
Yeah.
That's so cool though that you're able to kind of follow a dream that you have, right?
And the thing I was telling Miggs is like, it's such a privilege because I accomplished everything that I wanted to do education-wise, right? And now I have the ability to be able to do that, right? Like,
You got to have those passion projects.
correct. And I think one of the things that I learned about me as well, it's I need to have creativity. Like, that's what brings me peace. It gives me purpose. And so, like, that was just another avenue to follow. And so it's been awesome.
I'm gonna have to follow in your footsteps now, because I think the reason. Well, I thought first of all, just working in anything that's TV or movies or anything creative like that, was cool. And then when I got the chance to do it, I just kind of fucking grabbed onto it and fucking didn't let go,
Yeah.
And then, but the thing is, like, I mean, as a kid, I think I always wanted to be like the leading actor, because every time I would play, that's what I would be,
Yeah.
And but then also now, you develop the skill because you're doing the things that you love. So it's kind of like you can't do both. And what how are you gonna get in the project? Oh, doing what I do, which is camera or something, you know. And but being the actor thing, like that's been something. That's kind of why I joined this to make a transfer from behind the scenes to in front of the scenes.
I say do it, man. Freaking come join me on a set sometime.
Well, see, but I think the acting thing works for you because I'm looking at you right now, and I'm like, I can use you as a lot of different things. You can be a security guard. You can be somebody in a school. You can be somebody at a bar. You can be a lot of different things. Me, I'm very specific. Like, you're not gonna be. If we need some people in the library, you're not gonna hire me.
I hire you
for the right film. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have a certain look that requires a certain like role, unless I want to.
Yeah.
You'll be like, we need someone to do to be
like a bouncer. I can do that.
I want to be Seth Rogen's voice double.
Yeah. We
mic.
need a Spanish version of Seth Rogen. Yeah. He's a director now, right?
Well, oh no, dude, I've been raving about that TV show. That what was it called? The Studio?
Yeah.
Like about when it barely came out. Like I don't try to advertise too many things, which I should. I'm trying to advertise more local, but I haven't. But that's why I do the restaurant thing, is trying to advertise local things. But I'm trying to also do with artists. But I was advertising The Studio because of the way that it was made, and I was watching it, and like I would just see the episode and be like, "Wow, this is really great." And it turned out that the Emmy Award judges also thought the same thing.
Yeah.
So.
And we were talking about this before the interview started, but Frankenstein, right? Guillermo del Toro. Continuing to put like Latinos on top in that form and being able to speak to the world of film in kind of relation to us, right? Props to that guy. And so that's what, I tell people that what I hope to get out of acting is the equivalent of the guy that plays at your local bar and does it for the art.
Does it for the love of the game.
Yes. Yes. I don't think I have any aspirations of becoming famous or doing all that things. If it would happen, amazing. But I think that I really love the aspect. And like I said,
well, if that happens, you need somebody to run your social media.
There you go. There you go. But I really love the push, right? Because it's a very intimate art, right? Whatever you put out there, there's a lot of people that are going to see, right? And I think growing up Latino in a very white town, you have this image of who you're supposed to be, right? You have this image of you don't belong, you don't fit in. And so by that standard, you develop a lot of, I don't want to say like your confidence is not as high as it needs to be, right? And so it's always, and especially in today's time, in today's political time, where they have you labeled as a certain image or an idea, and so it's always, it's even more intimidating because you're like, are people going to perceive me that way, right? And that's very easy to get typecast in that way, right? What's the actor who's been Hector 16, 20 times?
Same role.
Yeah.
Same role, right? Like, and you're like, come on, man, like, you know his range. Exactly.
Every time.
Exactly. And
Well, if it's a good role, they give it to the other one.
yeah.
What's his name? Michael.
Yeah.
Michael Pena.
Michael Pena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody historic, it's
plays
Michael
Cesar
Pena.
Chavez.
Yeah. Or somebody, if it's a gangster, then it's Hector.
He played the firefighter from the World Trade Center.
Exactly. He's been like every historical
The hot
Latino
Cheeto guy.
player.
Was he the hot Cheeto guy too?
Was he?
Yeah.
He was the hot Cheeto guy.
Oh, man, I love that movie.
He also played Cesar Chavez.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, I'm not hating on him, but I'm like,
Scientology connection. That's
Yeah.
why. He's Scientologist.
that might be it, man.
What is one thing, Ramon, that you do to take care of your mental health?
I am definitely trying to, in this stage of my life, and it took me a long time, it's really focusing on my boundaries, and saying what are the things that are for me and what are the things that are not, right? Not forcing things, and knowing when I'm in a toxic place or around toxic people, right?
Yeah.
And I think part of my culture growing up is suck it up. It's you're complaining about it, you know, and I think that you see that in a lot of the culture. It's saying, well, it's not as bad because look at what others have suffered, right? And a big kind of piece of advice that I can give to you all and everybody listening is two things can be true, right? Is we can be proud of the sacrifice that our parents and our family has made and acknowledge our own survival journey that we're going through, our own hardships. We can make space for those. And I think for me, it's now that's liberated me to say, okay, I can choose to be at peace. I can choose to walk away from people that no longer serve me. That might be, you know, because one of the biggest things is growing up, I think I was worried about what people thought about me, or I always wanted to please people. Until I realized that for some people, your own success intimidates them, right? And I'm like, damn, I can't even get that right. If I succeed, I'm letting you down, you know? And at that point, I realized, oh, then maybe I shouldn't put energy into that.
Yeah.
I should really worry about the people around me, my circle, my ecosystem, and seeing if they're okay.
I done that too.
Yeah. Because here's the thing.
I still keep a few around, but I limit their time.
But here's the thing.
Looking at me, Miggs, when you say
that. Then you get to be more efficient with your time and energy.
I feel like I have a pretty good vibe, and I don't want you taking it off.
Yeah.
So you're saying B don't kill my vibe. That's
I love it.
But also, you know, you said why can't two be true? Maybe all three can be true.
Yeah.
You can also suck it up, and that goes to Gen Z.
Yeah.
Just like
Gen Z is gonna come from Miggs.
There is times where you really suck it up.
I almost feel like Miggs says something in every episode that could cancel him.
Yeah,
if the right person listens to that episode,
he's going for
he's done
the record.
He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
Hey, Howard Stern made a pretty good living that way.
Man,
I can do it all day.
He's pushing the envelope.
But I appreciate you saying that, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. They do need to suck it up. I know.
I think people, we're cutting Miggs' mic off now.
Yeah, cut his mic off.
But like, yeah, I think it's important who you have around you.
Yeah.
It's because they affect your mental health, even if you don't even realize it right away, right? And have people around you that pour into your cup. Because, you know, you can't tell people if your cup is empty, if no one's pouring into you.
And one of the things that I say to my younger siblings is like, it's easy to be an asshole in this life. It's easy to be selfish, right? But it takes a lot of courage, a lot of strength to be kind. And I'm not saying that I'm kind all the time. I have my moments, right? but I do try to be better day by day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of the success that I have today is because of that, is because of the relationships that I hold, and you know, the good that I try to put out there. Again, you know.
And I also tell people it's not you, okay, like I'm gonna be kind, and then you're kind for like 3 months, you know, or a day.
No.
You know, it's like you constantly have to be kind for years and years and years. Then you get then finally somebody recognize, you know, or not finally, but people know you that way.
And to add to that, man, I think like everything in life, man, the more you practice it, the easier it becomes, right?
Yeah.
Like there's been moments where
like Irvin talking to Jehovah's Witnesses at his door.
yeah.
You know, the day after I forgot to tell you this, the day after we recorded that episode, you said Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons.
Yeah.
I had Mormons come to my house, and they had never came to my house before.
I'll put that vibe out
So
there.
because
my mental game is strong.
No, it was
Young Jedi.
my law of attraction though, because I said if Mormons show up at my house, like I'm gonna open the door, because when we were kids, our parents taught us to, like, when the Jehovah's Witnesses come, hide, close the windows, duck down, don't let them see you. And it's like, bro, like I can have a 5-minute conversation with them, it's fine, right? So yeah.
No, and again, man, I love what you say. It's about what you put out there, right? And I really feel like that there is a law of attraction. There is, the more that you create that kindness, the more that you create that you are genuine in your feelings and emotions, I think that there is a level of energy, a level of vibration that creates, that allows you to connect with everything that much easier, right? That's a lot of Mr. Miyagi stuff, but I really do it. And here's the thing,
I believe the same thing.
All right, and here's the thing, I think most religions, at the core of it, teach those things, right? To be kind of human beings, right?
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of stuff that I also believe, and hopefully I don't get any hate for this, but I think there's also a lot of man-made things, and our job is to be able to separate what are the things that make us better human beings, and what are the things that seem self-serving, that seem like, you know, some kind of hierarchical power has said, do this in order to be good with God.
It used to be easy like 10 years ago to just to figure it out.
But again, man, the level of misinformation, I have 2 theories of what's coming. The first one, the future generations are going to figure out a different mode of media, right? They're going to find a way to share news out that they can trust, because I think that the trust between media outlets and the people has been broken. And I think that there's going to be some level of that in government, but I don't know what it is, because those 2 elements have never been this fractured. Just a thought. Hear me out when it comes around. Be like, oh, Ramon said that on a podcast. I remember that.
We're gonna replay this clip.
Yes.
Ramon, I appreciate you being here, brother.
Thank you, man.
Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge. And yeah, I feel like we're probably gonna have to do another one of these, because I feel like there's a lot of stuff that we still need to talk about. And I feel like you're one of those people that we can kind of go deep into different like, you know, real issues.
Yeah.
Talk about manhood, talk about our family, talk about, you know, access to higher education, all these different things. So appreciate everything you do.
No, thank you, man. Well, here's the thing. It's so easy with y'all. I know that you are good, kind beings. And so it's good to have conversations like this that are going to empower and hopefully provide some kind of information to your community. You know, the work that you're doing with IDA, super important, super timely, and encouraging more people to get involved, more of your younger generation. And if people have questions in general of anything that I can do to help, all right, I will plug. I am starting my consulting agency soon, an Emergence Consultant. It's made to be able to focus to get more of underrepresented students into college, teach them how to funding, all those things. A lot of the work that I do now, but more in the community. Then I'm also doing mortgage lending soon. So just a couple projects in the works that are going to allow me to, again.
I used to do commercials for a mortgage lending company. So maybe we can mix all
See,
this
already.
Lock in.
Yeah.
But for everybody listening, hope you got something out of that conversation. I feel like a lot of these episodes, that's what we try to, you know, put as a goal for someone to get something. And if you have any questions about college access, about opportunities, look up Ramon. Hit him up on Instagram. He's got 2 Instagrams now, so hit him up on one of the
acting page. Follow my acting page.
What's the acting page handle?
It's Ray Balderas. You got to do the Ray Balderas official.
Okie dokie. And then and you'll see him on campus too. So you'll still be seeing him.
I've been getting his counseling for years. It's great. I'm glad it's available to everybody now.
Yeah. He'll get my bill sooner.
I was about to say, send the invoice over.
Yeah.
But for everybody listening, that was the end of the episode this week. This is Irvin
and I'm Miggs.
We're signing off.